What's up? Welcome back to Dude Dad. Did you know that 86% of dads get their parenting advice on YouTube? But most of the content you're watching isn't even geared towards dads or even made by dads. That's why I've partnered with Dove Men+Care and their hashtag DadsCare initiative. They started this awesome website called dadscare.com that's full of a whole bunch of how-tos and dad tips made by actual dads. But one of the things that they really focus on that I want to talk about is your self-care. For me, my self-care is riding my bike. I love riding bike. I've been doing it my whole life, and it's just where I can go and check out and sort of regroup and recharge and get my self-care. So I've paired my self-care today with our how-to, because our how-to of the day is how to teach your kid how to ride a bike. For me, it's awesome because if I can get my kids on a bike, now we can go out, we can ride together, they can have fun, I can have fun, I can recharge, bingo. So let's get into it. How to teach a kid how to ride a bike. Step 1, take your kid's training wheels from his bike, throw them in the trash. I am a firm believer that training wheels are a terrible concept because basically what they do is they do the work for you. It's like your kid coming home with homework and then you doing all the work for him and then you're like, there you go. He might get a good grade, but what did he learn? Nothing. With training wheels, they essentially have between a ½ inch and 2 inches of room that they can learn balance. It's not very much room to learn balance. So really all they do is learn how to rely on that training wheel. And when you finally take those training wheels off, their whole support system is gone. And when they go to fall over, they're just gonna fall over and crash. So step 1, throw away the training wheels. They do not set your kid up to win. That takes me to step 2, which is the alternative to training wheels. Get your kid a balance bike. Now this is the alternative to training wheels. This is a specific type of bike built to teach your kid how to balance. So you'll notice it doesn't have pedals. Instead, the kid just puts their feet on either side and they push themselves along with their feet. But what this does is it teaches them not only balance, but also control. They are in total control over how fast they go, so it helps them build their confidence. It also teaches them how to save themselves if they get into a hairy situation. Instead of falling over, because their feet are always on the ground, they know that they can just put their feet down and catch themselves and be totally fine. But you'll see what happens with this is in between those steps they take, they slowly start to build up their balance, and before you know it, they'll just be cruising down the street and they'll put their feet up and they'll just be gliding along, perfectly riding a bicycle with no training wheels and no help at 2 years old. I wish they would have had these things around when I was a kid. I was like 6 before I could ride a bike without training wheels. So recap, step 2, get your kid a balance bike. It teaches them balance, it teaches them confidence, and it also gives them the ability to catch themselves so that they don't fall over. Where on a bike with training wheels, they're used to having the training wheels do the work for them and catch them so they don't fall over. Then when you remove those training wheels and they start tipping over, they don't know what to do and they just crash and burn. All right, that takes us on to step 3. Get them on a trike. I know this seems totally backwards, but the one thing that the balance bike doesn't have is any sort of pedals. So I say get them on a trike to just learn how to use the pedals. You can have a couple of these things in your garage. It's nice for them to have a few different things to play around with just to keep them busy and occupied and entertained. This is super cheap. Just find anything with pedals on it so they can just learn the concept of pedaling, but it also feels so different than a bike that it won't set them up to fail later like training wheels do. So a combination of this with the balance bike sets them up with all the skills that they need to know. All right, now step 4. This step should really be implanted throughout the entire process, and that is lots of support and praise. This is a huge deal in their development to be able to learn how to ride a bike because it gives them an immense amount of independence that they can now move from point A to point B way faster, and they have total control over where they go. You know, so to help them through this process, you want to be extremely supportive and be celebrating every single step of the way.
He's gonna go for it. Yeah, Theo, yeah!
But also on the flip side of that, don't baby them. In my opinion, the worst thing you can do when they fall over is run over to them and make a really big deal out of it. They have to learn that falls can happen and will happen, and learn how to get back up by themselves.
Yeah, buddy.
If you baby them every single time they fall down, they're gonna be done for the day, and now you're done for the day as well. And if biking is your self-care, that's no good. So you wanna teach them to be strong and independent and confident. All right, now we're ready for step 5, which is to finally put them on a pedal bike. Now here's the cool thing about step 5. If you've done all the other steps, step 5 should be a cakewalk. They know how to balance, they know how to pedal, now they just gotta put the two things together. So it's just lots of support, be close by in case they get into trouble, but ultimately they know what to do and they have the confidence to do it. You're doing it! When I put my son Theo on a real pedal bike, it literally took 20 minutes for him to have the whole thing completely mastered. It was awesome. And it's because we spent so much time on step 1 through 4 that when we got to step 5, when he was 3 years old, he nailed it, no problem. He's 3 years old, riding a pedal bike, no training wheels, easy peasy. And that's it. That's how to teach your kids how to ride a bike my way. I hope this was helpful to you. For more tips, go check out dadscare.com. And remember to get your self-care in, whether it's just 2 hours a week, whatever it is that recharges you, make sure you give yourself that time so that you can recharge, focus on you, so you can then be the best dad you can be. And let me know some of the ways that you practice your self-care with your family in the comments below. All right, guys, have a good one.
I play a